The following is a presentation of 4-Star Sports Media. Welcome to the Germantown Village Wine and Liquor Studios. Germantown Village Wine and Liquor. They have single barrel whiskeys you can only find in their store. Go by and see Stephen Plunk and tell him 4-Star sent you. Now, it's time to get to the point with your hosts, Wes Pruitt and Brandon Bumgarner.
Get your tickets outside, it's going down tonight. This is our game, just don't quit it, man. This Memphis do, we ain't come to lose, we here to win. Pay your dues, otherwise I got bad news. What you came to do? Get them boys the blues, 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 get them boys the blues. What you came to do? Get them boys the blues.
Hello, Memphis fans, and welcome to The Point, where we get to the point of Memphis sports, whether that be Tiger football, basketball, whatever, Grizzlies, Redbirds, we talk it all. It's all covered here. Guys, we felt good coming off that Navy win, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
We did. And then we took a trip to Orlando to what I've been told by numerous people is the worst environment in college football. It's a glorified high school stadium, from what I've been told. Tigers drop it down there 24-7. Seth Hennigan did not play. Peter Parrish got his first start. It was everybody's first look at Peter Parrish, besides high school film. Will, I'll start with you. Tigers dropped this one 24-7 down in Orlando. It was a rough night Friday night for Tiger fans. I've got some things to say. I know everyone else does. Start with you, Will. My bad. Start with you, man. What was your take from this loss by the Memphis football program Friday night?
Yeah, it was a tough one for sure. You know, I know UCF, I guess, has become one of those teams that I think, a lot of folks refer to as a rival. And, it's one of those games I think both teams always get up for. But this one was tough. I was looking back at some of the stats. I didn't really get a chance to sit down and watch it like I wanted to. But considering this was Peter Parrish's first night out, he really didn't do bad. I mean, aside from his turnovers, the turnovers is what ultimately killed us. But he's had like a 64.5% completion percentage. So that's not terrible. They got some work to do. I mean, it was definitely disappointing. They're I think at the 500 mark for the season. So they still got some tests ahead of them too. I mean, it's it's going to be an interesting rest of the season. What's up, Bum?
Yeah, it is. Bum, that is a fresh hat, man. I must agree. Oh, by the way, I'm not to ruin it, Brandon. I'm sorry.
Nope, don't do it.
Nope. Okay. All right. Brandon Bumgarner, I'll come to you next, man. Talk to me about this Memphis loss Friday night down in Orlando.
Well, apparently the team doesn't listen to the podcast because they did the exact opposite of what we told them to do this past week. But sorry, I'm trying to get everything set up in my room. But horrible performance by all parties, players, coaches. It just wasn't. It wasn't what it should have been. And that game wasn't a tough game. UCF stinks. They got beat by a Navy team. We absolutely owned the entire game. They're not good. I mean, look, I know Peter Parrish is a fourth-string quarterback, but if you know he's going to play, then you have to have sets set up for him to play. Not these dink and dunk passes. While you're going for it on 3rd and 19, I'll have no clue. While you're running out of the straight-up shotgun on 4th and 3, running the ball down the middle, at least run out of the pistol, give the halfback at least a little momentum, hit the O-line. Just don't understand it, guys. The play calling, all of it. I'm frustrated, and I keep saying I'm frustrated, but I'm about to be pissed off. Especially if we go up on the 6th against SMU and you lay an egg there. And I know they're ranked, I know they're undefeated, but you're playing at home. You have no excuses to play the way that you've been playing. You have the talent all over the field. The injuries aren't what's hurting you. Granted, Hennigan being out did hurt you, but it's next man up. I can make excuses. Keelan Brown transferring in the middle of the week. Parrish being the 4th-string quarterback all spring, or not spring, but all fall camp. But I'm not that guy. I'm not going to make excuses. Some people blame the refs. I don't think the refs did as bad as we played. There were points of that game where they weren't good. But, I mean, guys, it's frustrating. Like, extremely frustrating now.
I mean, Nathan, I'm going to come to you next, man. It's more than frustrating. I'm pissed. Like, I'm past frustrated now. Prime example, Arkansas State. We're at the goal line, lining up in shotgun. What are you doing? You're at the goal line. Get under center. Just go forward.
College teams don't typically go under center unless you're in just
I know,
packages.
but I mean, still, you line up in shotgun from the one.
The pistol formation is it's a type of shotgun formation.
Right, it is.
It allows your halfback to get ahead of steam to hit the O-line.
Right, and the quarterback's also a little bit closer compared to if he was in the shotgun. He's about another step or two up. But I'm not trying to bash, but Kevin Johns needs to step up. I don't know what this is. Peter Parrish did not have a bad night, but I felt like Peter Parrish was extremely inaccurate a lot of times, which I get it. I get it. But if you're Kevin Johns, you've got to put that young man in a situation, especially if you've known all week that he's going to be the man Friday night. Why not put him in a situation, script his first 10 plays that he runs best, and get this kid some confidence built up to move on down the game? I mean, Will, you talk about the turnovers. I mean, I feel like a couple of them were on him. I mean, it's just you don't throw it in double coverage. You don't. I mean, there's just things you don't do. But back to Kevin Johns, he's going to have to step up or he's going to have to step out. I mean, that's just where I'm at with it. Sofield's got to step up too. You got to step up and walk into that offensive coordinator room and be like, look, man, every play runs through me. Something, give me something. I mean, am I the only one in the room that's frustrated with Kevin Johns?
You're not. I'm not going to point individual fingers because this is a team. But
yes, I agree.
But I'm frustrated with everything that's going on. It's not just Coach Johns. It's not just the play calling. It's everything. It looks like these guys get down and they're like, well, don't need to fight back until later in the game. They just lay down, and I don't want to talk bad about anybody.
All right, I'm not trying to. I'm just.
Oh, I know. We're just doing what we have to do.
Yeah. But here's my thing, man.
It's tough.
A lot of people bashed McIntyre. I don't feel like the defense played all that bad Friday night.
Last two games, McIntyre's done a really, really good job. Navy and UCF.
I feel like they played their asses off.
UCF was tough because the offense did absolutely nothing to help you.
Yeah.
The other games, the offense was helping the defense, complimenting them at least. Other games that you have lost, but other than the UTSA game, but your offense has done absolutely nothing to complement the defense in 3 of your 4 losses. And Saturday showed that specifically and how bad it was. You missed Seth real big. Like you missed
did.
him so much right now.
They missed him, but
Freshman
I mean,
quarterback.
statistically though, the Tigers and UCF were almost neck and neck offensively the entire game. It's the turnovers that really cost them. You know, they had that one turnover early on, right in. You know, I think it was on the they had a. UCF had a big penalty. It advanced the ball to their 27, and then immediately, dude throws, throws an interception into the end zone, on the 1 yard line. So I mean, it started off poorly from there. But and I'm not trying to to sugarcoat anything. I mean, the guy had a great completion percentage, and like Brandon said, he's dinking and dunking. But I mean, you look at the stats; things weren't really too lopsided one way or the other, outside of obviously the score and the number of turnovers. You got 4 turnovers and you don't score except 7 points in I think the second quarter. So yeah, I mean it's you got to do better somewhere. And it's for a while there it looked like it was on defense, and then their defense shows up, and now the offense is for whatever reason can't keep pace, which doesn't make sense. Obviously this past week without Seth, that makes a big difference. But yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's getting to that point, like Brandon said, or like you both have said, you get to the point you're kind of concerned. You're getting to the point of almost being a little irritated with it. It's definitely concerning for sure.
Most definitely.
Well, Will alluded to it, and Nathan, I'm sorry, you can talk right after I get done. We have the third. Hold on, let me reread
third
this.
worst.
Third worst turnover margin in the NCAA.
Yep.
In all of the NCAA.
Yeah, it's terrible. Nathan, let me ask you this, man.
Also, timeout. I know we're talking Tigers, but the Atlanta Braves just hit a leadoff home run to start the World Series.
Let's go, babe. Chop on. All right,
that's awesome.
I was just there, man, when they won the NLCS. It was crazy. My hotel was right across the street. It was wild.
Oh, that's awesome. Nathan, what happened with Memphis? Because we got outrushed 215-77. 31 rushing attempts, 22 by the quarterback, only 9 by a trio of running backs who have been running the ball well all season. This is where my frustration is.
It has
Why?
a lot. It has a lot to do with play calling. Like Bum said, the shotgun formation on a 4th and 3 is not where you go. I mean, I know a lot of colleges don't do under the center, but I've seen SEC programs. If they're going 4th and 3, and it's going to be a run, they're going to go under center. They'll go a goal line formation. They'll do something to get.
Give me a wildcat formation there.
Anything to make it work. You could have had the wildcat with Thomas and Calvin Austin. That would have been the perfect wildcat formation because you never knew where it was going to go.
Hell, you could even put Sean Dyke's big body back there and let him run it.
Or, I mean, here's the thing. Sorry, I promise I'm not trying to cut you off, Nathan.
Oh, go ahead.
But here's the thing. Peter Parrish was running the ball the whole night. Just put him in freaking wildcat and let him go.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Well, your problem with running the ball was, and Parrish doesn't have the arm strength. He can't really get the ball that far downfield, and in his defense, he hasn't played a lot. He hasn't played at all. And UCF knew that, so they loaded the box the entire game, and it took the run away from you. But also, their secondary stepped up, where you couldn't throw the ball to Calvin downfield, and you had to throw these little dink and dunk passes. So I don't think the Wildcat would have made any difference because the O-line was playing like garbage. I'm just going to be honest. They look terrible.
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's like what Bum said. This is the same UCF team that struggled with Navy. And, Memphis came in and blew out Navy. Now, Cincinnati struggled with Navy too, but they got their crap together and ended up getting the victory off of them. But this Memphis team, something's got to happen. Whether it's on the offense, on the coaching staff on offense or something. Ryan Silverfield, luckily they have a bye week, So with this bye week, it's going to help them kind of get shit together, get everything figured out, and hopefully Ryan Silverfield comes out against SMU with a better game plan than he had going in against UCF, because whatever game plan they had obviously didn't work. They need to go back to the way they played Navy for an example, for game film, and look over that game film and compare films of how they played Navy and how you played UCF. Because the thing about SMU is coming in and they're gonna throw the ball. SMU is gonna throw it. Nonstop. So, but yeah, Memphis, they got a lot of figuring out to do. So luckily they got a bye week.
I'm concerned about that. Sanchez Blake's out for the rest of the season, so one of your best guys in the secondary is out for that game. So your backups, your Tyrese Lindsey's, your Quindell Johnson's, Jacoby Francis, those guys, Slavonta Oliver, those guys are going to have to step up in that game.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet they throw a guy like Julian Barnett back there at the second safety spot because he's a big guy. He can cover the field. And, that's a name we haven't heard a lot this year. There's names on this team that we thought we were going to hear all year. We haven't heard a lot from a lot of these guys, such as –
Well, that was actually my next question is, where are the guys that we've had two of the best recruiting classes back-to-back in school history besides Greg Rubin, Seth Hennigan, Thomas? I understand all. Where's the rest of them? I haven't seen. Unless I'm just missing them. Maybe I'm just missing them.
You got guys like Rock Taylor out there trying to make plays. Rock Taylor's getting double covered because he's so big.
Yeah.
That's a big receiver if I've ever seen
He's
one,
huge.
if I'm being honest. Look at that. The Atlanta Braves up 2-0 first inning. Look at this. Let's go. Chop on, baby. Bring the World Series to the South. Even though I'm a Cardinals fan, let's go.
So,
Braves.
speaking of the Memphis football team, and Nathan alluded to it, we've got a bye week coming up, guys. Real quick before we take a break, and when we come back from break, we're going to talk all things Memphis basketball. That includes the Grizzlies. So, guys, we got a bye week. We got SMU. SMU's got a tough game this week with Houston. That's no cakewalk for SMU. That's going to be a nice American Athletic Conference game. Houston coming in at 5-1. SMU undefeated. We got the bye week coming in. How is Seth? Do we think Seth will be back for SMU?
They had Highland 100 Day Sunday. They said he looked fine. Said he'll be playing.
Okay.
One thing I did hear that really showed me something about this player in particular and how he's going to respond was Peter Parrish. There was a lot of Highland 100 members there Sunday afternoon. Peter Parrish walked by all of them, shook their hands, gave them hugs, said, "Thank you for being here. Thank you for keeping confidence in us." I'm hoping this kid steps up and is a leader. And I know he had a rough game, but we got to throw this kid a bone. First college game he's ever played in. He went to LSU, transferred to Memphis, sat out last year, and he's playing this year, started against UCF. And honestly, the first half didn't look that bad.
No, he didn't.
And a lot of his turnovers weren't forced turnovers on him. They were deflections off of the receivers that were caught by the secondary of UCF. The O-line is my biggest just question mark in that game. As far as they're just letting guys right up the middle get back there,
Ever since the Mississippi State game, besides the Navy game, they've been like that, though, have they not?
They have. There's inconsistency there, and I can tell you firsthand by knowing Ryan Silverfield, he does not like that whatsoever. He is no line coach, and that is the number one. Here's the thing about Coach Silverfield. Coach Silverfield is your prototypical offensive line coach who wants the ball to go through the run game and wants the O-line to be able to protect the quarterback. They're not doing either. They're not allowing the rushing game to get going. They're not protecting the quarterback. There's going to be some changes. There's going to be some big changes this offseason as far as the offensive line. Not offensive line coach. I think Coach Bridge does an incredible job with these guys. But you also have to think you're losing a guy like Dylan Parham to the NFL draft. You're going to have to address the offensive line this offseason. And I don't know if that's transfer portal or, which I'm sure they'll add some guys, or getting recruits in here earlier in January so they can go through their spring practice and everything. But you're going to have to address this offensive line. It's going to be – I'm not going to say it's going to be tough because we know how good of an offensive line coach Ryan Silverfield is. I think he's going to have to take over the offensive line by himself at some point.
That was actually going bye week. I was going to ask, are we going to see some, I guess you use the term, wholesale changes where people start being demoted or people start, I'm going to take this over, or you're going to start going through me? Because, I mean, you're 4-4. It's teetering on that. Are you going to make a bowl game? And we haven't talked about that in 8 years?
Yeah, 2013 was last year. We did not make a bowl game. My junior year of high school.
So I mean, Will, when you look at this week, and Nathan, this same question for you, and then we'll jump to break. What is going to need to be done during this off week to get ready for SMU?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around 2013 being Bumgardner's junior year of high school.
Man, I'm telling you.
Because I graduated high school in 2003, so that makes me feel really old.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm going to go take some leave. I'll be right back. No.
Gotta go take your back, Bill?
Yeah, yes. No, I don't know, man. I don't know what they really need to do. I mean, you can't just pull experience or time out of thin air, and that's what I think a lot of these guys need. But I do agree with what you guys were talking about earlier. Some of these younger guys, or some of these guys that we've had come in these recruiting classes over the last couple of years, where are these guys at, and why aren't they showing up in games, and proving their worth? I mean, get out there, prove something, get out there on the field. I don't know why they're not getting time, or maybe why they're not getting noticed. But it's, like you mentioned a second ago, we're 4-4. You're at the 500 mark, and you got nothing but, it's not exactly cakewalks down the stretch. I mean, you've got some difficult games, and you at least got to pull a couple more out, even if you want, a little bowl game. I mean, just something that kind of keeps
the one good thing Memphis has going for them is 3 home games.
Yeah, that is good. That is good. And that's, what we have. How many games left? 5? 4? 5? 4. Yeah. So, I mean, that is a positive.
And Tulane.
Yeah, very true.
I mean,
go ahead.
I'm just saying, I mean, it's really, I don't know that you can point to one thing. I mean, it's not really been consistent one way or the other. Every other week, it seems like it changes as far as what really needs to be focused in on. And I don't know if it's just, lackadaisical, maybe one thing's getting more attention in practice than another, or what it may be. But, it's just, I don't know. It's definitely concerning. You can't really pinpoint anything,
No, you can't. And that's, I mean, I feel like every week when we have this show, Nathan, it feels like every week we talk about, okay, let's get the defense fixed. Oh, the defense is fixed. Okay, now it's the offense. So like I said, going into this off week, I think this is almost the perfect time. It's almost like a perfect storm. Memphis loses a game I really don't feel like we should have lost. I feel like any game we've lost this year we shouldn't have lost. But now you've got a bye week, and then you got SMU, big time school, once again coming back to Memphis 2 years to the day of game day.
Yeah, so the bye week is always good for any college football program, especially coming off of a loss. It gives you 2 weeks to prepare for a really good SMU team. And the fact that it will be at home, there's a lot on the line for Memphis right now. I mean, it don't matter SMU's ranked or not. The fact that you shouldn't allow SMU to come into your house and beat you, especially if the game against UCF happened at Memphis and it was 24-7 in Memphis. That would just leave a sour taste in your mouth. But this bye week, I'm hoping Ryan Silverfield makes a lot of adjustments to his offense, defense too, because it was just, it's like I told you, Wes, when I talked to you on the phone. You watch him play Navy, and it looks great. It's like Tiger. This is the Memphis football team we've been waiting for, and then you get to UCF, and you honestly can't even watch it because it's just so bad. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I had to turn it off, turn it back on because it was it was hard. It was tough to watch. But I think this bye week's good for him. Now, what to do in the off season? That's going to be up to Ryan Silverfield. What he feels needs to be done, whether it's off coaching staff or whatever. But I think as long as they can focus on SMU, I believe Ryan Silverfield has a plan and has a strategy to beat SMU at Memphis. So hopefully they can get because if I'll put it this way, if Memphis comes out and plays like we did against Navy, we can either give SMU a game or we can beat SMU. So
oh yeah, no doubt.
Well,
no doubt.
So there is a little drama going on down there in Dallas for SMU because Sonny Dykes has been named the lead candidate for the Texas Tech job. So you have to think that these players, also just watching Jose Altuve walk to the plate, he's like 5'6". That's hilarious. Sorry, Wes. No,
I haven't grown since 8th grade.
There's
it's okay.
There's a lot going on in these players' heads thinking, was my coach committed to being here with me? Or, like, you think back to Fuente. After you beat Ole Miss, you go on that 4-game skid. And basically because Virginia Tech's being talked about the whole time, Yeah. So there is that factor that plays into this game coming up that is going to play in your advantage. These guys just have to look. Nathan says it all the time. These guys just have to nut up or shut up, and it's go time, boys. Like, you can't be missing bowl games here.
You got to say it better than that, Bum.
Do what?
Look, you either got to nut up, shut up.
There you go. But no, you have 4 games left. You have a chance to win 8 games this season if you can win out. We've won 8 games or more every year since 2014.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be the first year where we haven't won 8 or more games, Yeah. I want to continue that trend. I think that is I think 8 games is a good, marker for what Memphis football fans should expect out of their team every single season. 8 wins.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be 6. It shouldn't be 7. It should be 8. And the over-under line for the University of Memphis this year, as far as betting odds, was set at 8.5. So you go in here, you win these 4, and you go win your bowl game, you get the over.
Yeah.
You poo the bed the rest of the year, and you go 2-2 these last 2. You're going 6-6, and you're probably going to a really crappy bowl game. So this is what's going to determine if you want that a game against a decent football team or you want a game against a lower-end Conference USA team,
Yeah, very true, very true. We're going to jump to a quick break real quick. Once again, I want to thank Memphis rapper Lil White for our theme song, Give 'Em the Blues. Here's a quick little portion of it right here during this ad. But when we come back from the break, guys, it's time for basketball. We'll be right back here on The Point.
Come to lose, we here to win. Pay your dues, otherwise I got bad news. What you came to do? Be the boys the blues. My city known for rock and roll, good barbecue and soul food. We got rules though. When you come through, don't fool with us. We done told you we struggle daily. Crime rate is crazy. Get wrong's one thing you don't do. My guys the Grizzlies in past grew from that. All lives matter, that's a fact. But come to my town talking any kind of smack. We're gonna beat you down and send you right back. We winners, man, not beginners, man. We gon' eat every one of you for dinner, man. Get your tickets outside, it's going down tonight. This is our dance, just don't quit it, man. This thing to do, we ain't come to lose. We here to win, pay your dues. Otherwise, I got bad news. What you came to do? Get them boys the blues. 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 What you came to do? Get them boys the blues.
Welcome back to The Point. We got Brandon Bumgarner, Nathan Wilson, Willie B, Willie Bass in the room with us tonight. I am Wes Pruitt. Thank you to everybody watching on The Point Facebook page, 4-Star Sports Media, Facebook and YouTube pages. Guys, we got it cranked up on the basketball court this week. Brandon, you were there. Tell me about this Memphis basketball program. But my first question is this, Brandon. When it comes to this Memphis basketball program, should us as fans be concerned about the guys who did not play in the exhibition game?
I wouldn't be too concerned. There's no problems as far as I know with Imani Bates other than a deep thigh bone bruise. He'll be fine. Or thigh bruise, not a bone bruise. Bone bruise would be bad. No, thigh bruise, he'll be fine. You might see him suit up on Sunday, this coming Sunday. You're waiting to hear back from Oregon on the Chandler Lawson thing, as Penny stated in his post-game press conference. And then Jonathan Lawson was a disciplinary thing, and Landers Nolly is just kind of a thing right now. There's rumors going around that he may or may not be on the team. I can't say anything for sure about what's going on with him, but with or without those guys, this team is going to be special. Sunday just showed me how good we can be without four of the best players on the team, and possibly the best player on the team. I look back to Sunday and I think, okay, Lester Quinones is an absolute animal. He scored 20 points. Guys like John Camden and Joshua Minot were making plays out there. And, you know, the first go-around with Tyler Harris, we were like, okay, Tyler's a shooter. Now, well, I saw Tyler play in high school. I knew he was a playmaker. This kid is a pass-first guard now. He makes the pass first. He's looking for the open man. He makes really good plays. But the two guys that impressed me more than anybody on that team on Sunday were Jalen Duren and Malcolm Dandridge. That was the first time we have ever seen Malcolm Dandridge healthy in a Memphis uniform. And, boy, that looked special. You cannot tell me that Rasheed Wallace has not been working with those guys, because Malcolm Dandridge was big bodying guys, making plays. It was fun to watch. And I know it's just an exhibition game, and I want to see the competition, like true competition that they play first before I make any crazy remarks on those guys. I think Duren's going to be Jalen Duren. I think he's just a special player on his own right. I saw Malcolm Dandridge play in high school. The kid was unbelievable. Pairing next to James Wiseman at East. I think this team could be really special, guys. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, you went top to bottom. Jaden Hardaway came in, was making plays. He had 12 points. He was like I think he was like 4 of 5 from 3.
I thought he looked good, man. I mean, I feel
Jaden
like
Hardaway. Well, and Jaden last year, you have to look back to last year. Jaden's defense was great last year. That's what did so well for him, or boded so well for him. But you have a lot to look forward to this year, guys. Starting with the depth of this team. We've already talked about it, and you could afford to lose one guy and another guy pick it right up and take that spot. You know, I'm really excited to see this, and we'll see more of it when they play Lane College on Sunday. I believe that's being broadcast on ESPN Plus as well. So if you want to check them out, you can watch that. But man, and I'll have more in-depth stuff when it comes to regular season, everything like that. Because Penny really wasn't throwing sets out there on Sunday. It was more of a, all right, let me see what I got as far as gameplay. And you saw a lot of what he got. That team looked fun.
Man, that team is going to be fun to watch. Nathan, speaking of Malcolm Dandridge, man, this guy reminded me a lot of Joey Dorsey Sunday.
Big nasty.
Yeah, he did a lot of the big nasty. I mean, look, we've said it time and time again here on the point. Penny Hardaway is he built a squad that is going to be tough to beat. And that exhibition match, to watch it and see what he was working with, and for it to be an exhibition, the guys came out playing like it was a real game for them, and that was fun to watch and to see this Tiger team come out and play the way they did. I know a lot of the fans were excited, and they were all hyped up for this. But I'm with Bum on this though. I can't wait to see the actual competition and how it all folds out. I'm excited about the game in Nashville against Tennessee. That's going to be so much fun to watch, especially watch the Tigers beat the brakes off of the Vols, and hopefully the Vols have plenty of mustard to bring to their
don't forget
basketball games.
Don't forget they play your Bama boys this year too. They play your Bama boys this year too. Don't forget.
I know they do, and you know what? That's going to also be a game I can't wait to watch. I know this is strictly.
It ain't gonna be fun in your house.
No, it's not gonna be fun, but but for me, it's gonna be a house divided. So
yeah,
my wife will be cheering for the Tigers. I'll be cheering for my Bama boys. So it's gonna be, but it's gonna be fun though. And like I said, this team right here that Penny Hardaway has built is a team that's gonna be tough to beat. And the talk ain't going to be about how's Kentucky going to do, how's Duke going to do, how's all these other programs going to do. It's going to be about Memphis and Penny Hardaway, and that's going to be the talk on ESPN and all everywhere. So,
I completely agree. Will, when you look at this Tiger basketball team, we talked about it last week. We're going to talk about it all season. This team's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely stacked. You could go through a list of, 10, 12, 15 names and easily come up with probably a top 25, top 30 roster for any team in the country. Even though Amani didn't play this past week, obviously Landers and Jonathan, possibly with disciplinary issues, and then Chandler still kind of waiting on clearance, like Brandon was mentioning. I was reading something earlier, something that Penny was kind of interviewed about, and I mean, they really have a good mix of their young guys and a really good mix of vets, and having those two things on the court, it's something that we really haven't had in very many years that I can remember that have been, have this potential of cohesiveness, at least in my opinion. You got a lot of talent. You've got a lot of guys, especially with Lester and Malcolm, obviously with Alex Lomax. Excuse my bulls up there. They're running around in the China shop. So you got all these guys, man. A couple of the transfers, obviously Earl Timberlake, Tyler Harris coming back, but then Minot and Camden. I mean, there's so many weapons, I've read a lot that seems really negative about this program as far as how's Penny going to deal with the rotation and how is he going to keep everybody happy? As long as these guys are winning games and they have the potential to win an NCAA championship, I don't really think they're going to give a damn about who's starting as long as they're getting a little playing time and they can get in there. And if you have anything like this past weekend, which granted you got to consider the competition, but if you get into these games where they're blowing people out, guys are going to get time, even guys that are further down the line that wouldn't necessarily normally see time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm excited about it, man. I mean, I don't see how, as a Memphis fan, I don't see how you couldn't be. I think this next game kind of cool. There's we can get into it later, but it's kind of a cool storyline with that game that I'm looking forward to as well. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't see how, even if you were just a basketball fan in general, how you could not be excited about the level of talent, the number of pieces that you could put together and just absolutely wipe the floor with most NCAA programs, this year. I mean, just from what I've seen so far, and granted, it's a small sample size, but we're going to start getting into some fun games here real soon, and I think people are going to really see what this team is made of.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the Tiger basketball schedule, of course, this Sunday you got Lane College coming in, and a very, very familiar name to Tiger basketball fans. I believe his nickname was Little General back in the day. Mr. Andre Turner returns to the court on the opposing team, but that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I love that connection that Penny's doing with Lane and Andre Turner, and then also with Lemoyne Owen. I love the Christian brothers.
Awesome.
Just bringing them in roads, keeping them, keeping it in house. I really, really like that. This Lane College game, I think we're going to see a lot and even more of what we saw last Sunday against Lemoyne. When you look at Penny, he knows the season starts after this game. That's when it kicks off. And like I said, you look at that schedule in the month of November, that's not a cakewalk schedule. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. I'm telling you, that St. Louis game concerns me. And I know everybody, I'm telling you, it just, as a Tiger fan, it concerns me.
I think in years past,
that schedule, with this team and that schedule, it's a cakewalk. With last year's team and that schedule, it's not as much a cakewalk.
But in years, like Bum just said, in years past, I probably would have been concerned about St. Louis because their style of play is, like everybody knows, I think they're one of the slowest teams in the country as far as how they play their game. They don't want to score points. They want to make sure that they're just moving the ball down the court as slowly as possible, playing really good defense. But as long as Penny plays his game and with the length and just overall, you're never going to have a tired guy on the court. They're just going to run these guys to death all year long. Every team we play, all I got to say is their strength and conditioning coaches better be on their game at least a couple of weeks before we play them, because these dudes are going to get run off the court. They're just going to be exhausted because these guys play constantly. They get out there, they run from the time that whistle blows until there's zeros on the clock. And, I don't think anybody else in the country is going to be able to keep up with it, man.
Yeah, you saw it Sunday, the conditioning for this team, that they don't get tired. There wasn't a single guy out there, and Penny's got 5 more he can just put right back out there, run up and down the floor on you. We're gonna make some teams extremely tired, especially teams that don't have a lot of depth, such as a in-conference game against like East Carolina or Tulane. Teams like that, those games should be over by halftime.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be impressive. Like you said, Will, there shouldn't be a team in the country who's going to be able to keep up with you as far as you running them out. You're literally going to run them out of the gym.
Well, let's also look at this coaching staff Penny's got. I mean, you got a Hall of Famer, that has been to the big, the championship game. I mean, been there, done that. And the way that I'm sure he's helping Penny coach this Memphis Tiger team, I mean, it shows. And it shows out there on the court. So
I completely agree. And I think, alluding to what Brandon said earlier, you can see a change in our big men already. And it was just an exhibition game. I mean, wait till we're mid stride in the season. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch. There's also another basketball team in the city of Memphis for the University of Memphis that's got a season coming up, and that's the women's basketball team, the Lady Tigers. Brandon, you know the coach fairly well. You've met her a few times. How excited are you for this women's basketball team to get cranked up this year?
I'm just excited that we finally have a coach who's invested in winning. Melissa McFerrin was not invested in winning. She was invested in collecting a paycheck and not doing a damn thing with that women's basketball program at the University of Memphis. Our friends that work with us at 4-Star Sports Media understand that our new head coach eliminated their Hogs from the first round of the NCAA tournament last year when she was coaching at Wright State. She has a coaching pedigree. She knows how to get these young women bought in and play well for them. And honestly, there's talent all over this team. I mean, you have girls coming in from out of the country, girls coming in locally, and it only helps that you just redid the Elmer Rowan Fieldhouse as far as recruiting. By the way, I've been in there recently, and it is beautiful. The things
Really?
that they've done, you know, that arena or whatever, gym, whatever you want to call it, was a dump for a long time.
It was.
And now you talk about how the campus has expanded and how nice it looks now. You think about something like the field house and how nice it is to have that as a just recruiting base and a place that you play your home games and everything like that. But not to mention you have a coach that wants to win. She brought her entire coaching staff from Wright State to Memphis. A lot of coaches don't do that. A lot of coaches don't bring the same people that they had with them. It shows you that she loves the people that she's around, the people that okay. So, side note, I was at Tiger Bookstore today, just doing something up there, and Wes knows, but nobody else will know until you see it. Coach Merriweather and her entire coaching staff walked in to Tiger Bookstore. The people that were in there were saying, "Hey, Coach, good luck." She's, you didn't see that out of Melissa McFerrin. You saw her maybe show up to a big-time basketball game, but I've seen Coach Merriweather more than I've seen ever saw Coach McFerrin. She's making her face known. She wants people to come to those games and support them. I'm absolutely going to go to quite a few games this year. I believe tickets to the women's basketball games are like $10.
Yeah.
So and they got a decent schedule. Their first exhibition game is next Thursday. I can't remember who they're playing. It's on the 4th. And I did ask. I asked Coach today at Tiger Bookstore. I said, "Hey, Coach, what day is the game next week? Is it Thursday or Friday?" She goes, "Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I just know the dates." That to me shows you right there that she's working hard.
Yeah.
She wants these girls to be prepared. She wants them to play. I am very excited with where the women's program is going. I think we're going to start landing some big-time recruits. I think the penny draw is also going to draw some of these girls out of different places, and they're going to see that Memphis – look, before I was born, Memphis was making the tournament every year in women's basketball.
Yeah.
They were a very – not a storied program, but they were very good. They won the conference several times.
Too. Great coach.
Yeah, absolutely. They won the conference several times. They went to the tournament several times. And I just want to get back to those years of making the tournament. And I think even just making the tournament, I think Coach Merriweather can be a coach that makes runs in the tournament. And you get the right girls in here, it's going to be very good. I'm super excited for this, man. Just Memphis basketball in general, all the way from women's to men's to your professional team with the Grizzlies. It's gonna be a very fun year.
It really is. The entire city of Memphis, obviously, they love basketball, always have, and it's well deserved. I mean, when you go back and look at the guys like Larry Finch, Andre Turner, who we talked about earlier, Penny, Lorenzen Wright. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's well deserved, and Memphis fans should get out and support the women's basketball program just as much as they do the men's. That's never really happened, but it should, because the women are putting just as much effort out there in the practice, in their school, in their outside activities. It doesn't change just because you're a male or female when it comes to being a student athlete. It's all the same.
I've got 3 girls, man. I understand that.
Yeah, most definitely. Now let's jump over to the professional team. Well, one of the professional teams in the Memphis city, and that is your Memphis Grizzlies. Guys, John Morant is everywhere. But one thing I've noticed is there's been more chatter about him very early in the season. Guys wanting to know, are you watching John Morant? If you're not, pull up his YouTube clips. Watch 8 of them. You'll be amazed. It's fun to see finally. Go ahead, Brandon.
If the season ended today, John Morant would be the MVP. That's how good he is playing.
Yeah.
And there's no debate about it. The kid just dropped 40 and 10 against the Lakers in Staples Center.
Yep.
And missed a free throw to potentially win the game. And immediately after the game, walks into the locker room, grabs his phone, said, "That's my bad. That's on me. Y'all forgive me. That's not my teammates' fault. That's the sign, 1, of a true leader, 2, of a future, not even a future. I'm willing to call him a superstar right now.
Oh,
like you said, Wes, he's everywhere. He was all over ESPN today.
Mm-hmm.
He had a big interview on SportsCenter today. They talked about his best plays that he's made in his career so far. And he said, and he talked about how much he loves the city of Memphis. You know, superstars, you know, you'll hear, I like it here. It's a good place. John Morant embodies Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even close. You know, you look at a guy like Giannis in Milwaukee, and I know I use him as a example a lot. John Morant can be our Giannis Antetokounmpo as a 6'3" guard. You know, he can. This team, they're sitting at 2-1. They have 2 really good wins. You beat a Cavs team with a lot of depth, and they're not going to end up being a very good team. But that's your first game. You beat the Clippers at home, Paul George dropped like 42 points in that game. He was unbelievable. And then you damn near beat the Lakers on a back-to-back night.
Yep.
The Lakers are on 2 days rest at that point. And then tomorrow night, they're playing on the big stage on ESPN against Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers, who are playing pretty good basketball right now as well.
Yeah, they're sitting at 1-2 right now.
You know, I've never seen this much exposure. I've never seen this much exposure for the Grizzlies, except for when they made the run to the Western Conference Finals in 2013.
That was my actual next point. And Nathan, I'm coming to you next. That was my next point. It's fun to see some national exposure for all Memphis teams. It's really fun to see. Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah, so if you watch the game with the Lakers, they have a picture that somebody captured with Morant. I forgot what he did, but in the back you see Anthony Davis' mouth just like it just dropped. This guy has made he's made the ESPN top 5 plays on that sick dunk he threw down. I mean, this dude is. I mean, I hope he's in the slam dunk competition this year too. I hope he get.
I don't, because I don't want him to get hurt.
But this man's got so. I mean, he's fun to watch. He's a leader. I mean, to me, he's the Steph Curry of this basketball program with the Grizzlies. He's done a lot. If he does not get MVP at the end of this year, I will straight up say it's all rigged because he deserves it. I mean, he shows
he has to be able to continue to perform at this level to win MVP.
He does.
There's no telling if he will, but it can become a nightly thing, and I think it will become a nightly thing at some point.
Well, if you look at the pace he's on right now, it's going to be a nightly.
Yeah. As long as he stays healthy,
he's on a different level right now. It's nothing we've ever seen with the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
You know, we saw Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol, Tony Allen, Mike Conley, night in, night out, go out and just sleep teams to death. We would rock them to bed.
Jason Williams.
This team goes into a gym, and they might not look better than you, but they damn sure are better than you.
Yeah.
It's crazy, guys. Like, and if you get a guy like a Jaren Jackson Jr. performing well next to Ja, watch out, because this Grizzlies team can be crazy. But also, don't forget, Dylan Brooks is out with a hand injury. He is by far your best defensive player and one of the most liable sources of offense on this team.
Well, wasn't there talk? Dylan Brooks. That actually, I think the Lakers were trying to get Dylan Brooks.
They looked into it. The Grizzlies said no and said piss off. So
yep,
I would have done the exact same thing
because here's the thing: the Lakers are trying to build this powerhouse team. But if you watch them play, dude, they can't get along. Everybody wants to be the big player.
Well, Russell Westbrook is just he is not what you want.
No,
on a team with a bunch of stars. He's a very, very good player on a team by himself.
Yeah.
But when you put guys like Anthony Davis and LeBron James around him, it's not going to be successful. Now, somebody that I do respect and has kind of reemerged their game this season, Carmelo Anthony for the Lakers. Mm-hmm. He has looked very good. He found a good spot for himself coming off the bench. He's scoring 20 points a night. Good for him. And I don't know if y'all saw, but I was trying to get back to the Ja Morant point. Carmelo Anthony, after the game, said that Ja Morant is the future of the NBA.
Yeah,
and he didn't say that Ja Morant is a future like good player in the NBA. He said Ja Morant is the future of the NBA, not Luka Doncic, not Zion Williamson, not Trae Young, Ja Morant.
That's awesome.
Not the Ball brothers.
Although the Chicago Bulls look pretty good right now.
Man, not they are playing some ball right now.
First 4-0 start since I was a year old.
Hey, Zach LaVine, dude. Zach LaVine is a beast, man.
Since you were a year old, wow, that makes me feel so young. Will, I'll go to the other old guy in the group. Will, when you look at this Grizzlies team, we got a 3-game sample size so far, so not a huge sample size. But we know you're a big numbers guy. Give us some numbers on this Grizzlies team that you're impressed with.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm known for that because I've got some for you. So a couple of the things I've been looking at, kind of, yeah, man.
Dude, what, Bo?
So a few of the leaders, just so far this year. I mean, you got obviously Ja. He's averaging 35 points a game in 3 games. That's pretty solid. But another guy, obviously a new addition, Steven Adams. Man, he's got 13 rebounds per game right now. And he's got the highest field goal percentage on the team at 63%. So that's pretty solid. The big Kiwi! Well. Yeah, I really like him, man. I think he's a great addition to this team. I mean, I know we've had our backs and back and forth with him in the past, but he's great for this team. He's a perfect personality for this city, I think, and for that team and the kind of vibe we keep here. But then you also too, as long, like Bump said earlier, as long as you can kind of get something out of Jaren Jackson, I think that's going to really be big for this team this year. And so far, he's averaging about 8 blocks a game. He's leading the team in blocks. So that's pretty huge. As long as he stays healthy, I think that's going to be huge moving forward. And we'll play big throughout the season, obviously. But Dylan Brooks coming back is going to be big. That dude, just, he's kind of like the new age Tony Allen for the Grizz. I mean, he just gets in everybody's face and doesn't back down. I mean, we saw that last year, leading up to the point that we exited the season. But, he gets in everybody's face. He doesn't back down. He's not afraid of anybody. And he's one of those guys you just like to have on your team because you can put him out there to defend anybody. And it doesn't matter who it is. He's going to go out there and go toe-to-toe with them, and I can't wait for him to get back on the court with these guys.
And the other thing that I really like about him is when he gets hot, he is in fuego. I mean, he'll light you up. I mean, when you look at Ja, Jaren Jackson, others, and then you got him in there too, that's a triple-headed monster that can cause issues because if one guy's hot one night, the next guy can be hot the next night and continue on. Want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Germantown Village Wine and Liquors. Guys, if you need a little bit of alcohol for the big SMU game coming up, or if you're heading downtown, go by and see them. 7730 Poplar Avenue, Germantown, Tennessee. Beautiful Germantown, Tennessee. Or you can give them a call, 901-737-3174. Go by and tell them that the Point and 4-Star Sports Media sent you. Stephen Plunk is an amazing guy over there, and they've got some single barrel whiskeys that I've heard are so good, but you can only get them in their store. So go by and check them out. Guys, the city
John
of Memphis
Morant,
Sport.
hold on.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
John Morant has a 34.64 player efficiency rating. That is absurd.
Yeah.
He is sixth in the lead, and I know we're only, 3 games in? But he's behind Kevin Durant, who has won an MVP award, and Nikola Jokic, who has won an MVP last year. He's also behind multiple-time All-Star Karl-Anthony Towns and Paul George. He's 5th in the league in PER.
Wow.
He's 3 years deep into his run in the NBA, and he's only 21 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's unbelievable.
He hasn't even hit his peak yet. That's
he's
the
not even
scary
in his
thing.
prime.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's just starting to climb. He ain't even got there yet. Yeah, basically. He's just marinating.
You know,
Yeah.
when Penny's bringing this program back for basketball, it is just going to be incredible to see this Tigers team and this Grizzlies team both gel at the same time. Basketball fever is going to be going on in the city like it already is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep us warm through the winter, baby.
When you get into March and the Grizzlies are making a playoff push and they're a 4 or 5 seed, looking to be a 3 or a 2 or maybe even a 1 seed, and then you got the Tigers going into the tournament, this city's going to be on fire.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
And if the Tiger football program can just get things right, and I feel like they can, I feel like Coach Silverfield and staff will get it right. The city of Memphis, sporting-wise, is always one of the most fun to be in. But right now, as a Tiger fan, a Grizzly fan, Redbird fan for that matter, it's a lot of fun to be in the city of Memphis.
901 FC, maybe.
901 FC as
Playoffs.
well. Speaking of being in Memphis, we, The Point and 4-Star Sports Media, will be broadcasting live. We had so much fun the first time. We had to come back for more. Sidecar Cafe right there on Witten Road, right next to the Harley-Davidson dealership. You can't miss it. They've got the biggest TV wall screen I've ever seen in my life. Great food, great atmosphere. Just everything is just class A with Sidecar Cafe. November 7th, right after the SMU football game, we will be there live from noon to around 4. Come by and see us, have some food, talk some sports with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. For Nathan Wilson, Willie B., Brandon Bumgarner, I am Wes Pruitt. Thank you, everybody, watching and listening on Apple and Spotify as well. We are The Point, and we are out.